Hi everybody, Ian Smith from Ian Smith Photography here. Today I'm going to talk to you about shooting in your own home location. Um, if, like me, when you started in photography, you used to really enjoy going out for sunrise and sunsets, shooting the fantastic vistas, which of course I still do, and I do it really regularly. But every so often I go through periods of I don't know, losing motivation maybe, or running out of ideas. And over the last few months, I've been working on a project where I try and see my local landscape a little bit differently. It's not easy, but once you hone your eye in, you can really look for the smaller landscape or the less obvious images. And I think what has come out of it is, apart from getting a lot more satisfaction out of, taking pictures, is finding that there is a lot more within the landscape that I'm very used to and I know really well than I first imagined. And how I would sum that up is location-specific photographs versus non-location specific photographs. And in a few minutes, I'm going to take you onto my computer and you can have a look at some of both, which are images that are definitely, like specific to the location, and others which, if you looked at, you wouldn't have a clue where they're from. They could be from anywhere in the world. And ultimately, my conclusion is that the ones that are non-location specific are the ones that will probably stand the test of time, certainly to me personally. This is somewhat a personal video because my history has been 30 years working on a tennis court, and only in the last few years started to take photography very seriously, and indeed in the last couple of years I've been more or less full-time, working completely in my own local landscape with only a very few exceptions. And I've been watching myself evolve and my own personal happiness kind of like bloom, if you like, as a direct result of photography. And this particular video today is just another extension of that when I talk about non-location specific photographs. As I think I've discussed in previous videos, I live in the south coast of Sweden. I don't live in Lofoten or Iceland or the Faroe Islands, where you're kind of exclusively treated to some of the most fantastic and epic photographs that are to be had. That's not to say that I won't travel to these places and shoot the iconic pictures, but in the end, the reality is that we tend to spend most of our time at home and probably taking pictures within half an hour's drive of where we live. And I'm really lucky here in Sweden is that although I don't have the majestic mountains that are available in Scotland and other places, I have seascapes, harbours, ruralscapes, forests, and really it's a very low populated area. So whenever I go to these locations, I end up being more or less exclusively on my own, particularly the times of day that I usually go out. If I can just sort of like jump in and take you through some of my photographs to give you an example, and also try and sort of like put across to you that this particular journey that I'm on, I wanted to share to you personally so that perhaps you could maybe see your own landscape a little bit differently. And if you do at the end of this video, then I would really love to hear from you. So if you could drop a comment below and certainly press the like button, that would be great. So let's jump right into the computer. So if we take this first image, which is quite clearly location specific, is from an island off the west coast of Scotland. I'm not going to mention the name to try and protect it a little bit, but this is quite clearly location specific, and although it's a beautiful picture and I really enjoyed being there, taking the picture was very early in the morning with my good friend from Iceland, and it had lovely tones and everything about it I love, but you've got to be in that location to get a photograph like that. Another example of a location specific place is this one. This is a very famous lighthouse, again, on the west coast of Scotland. Very cool. One of the most iconic lighthouses in Scotland. Location specific. There's no other place like it to get a photograph like this unless you're right there. Now, consequently, this particular image here is extremely non-location specific. Now, I took this a week or two ago. It's a long exposure. You can quite clearly see that you've got some nice steely blue tones running through the image, but it could be anywhere in the world. This particular scene, non-location specific, and it literally could be anywhere. So people are going to enjoy this photograph not for where it was taken, but for the photograph itself. And nobody is ever going to question the locality. I don't think it would even bother them, because they're enjoying that for what it is. Another example of something that's completely non-location specific is this one. Again, there'll be a myriad of places around the planet that has a photograph like this. You look at that, you have no idea where it's from. And in the end, do you really care where it's from? It happens to be 5 minutes from my doorstep, and when somebody buys this to hang on their wall, it's not because of where it was taken, it's because of the image itself. Another one, which is very like that, is this one. Again, just very, very close to where I live, but rocks like this could be anywhere. Nobody's going to look at that photo and then go, that's in Simrishamn on the south coast of Sweden. They won't know. It could be from the Isle of Skye, it could be from Iceland, it could be from anywhere. And that's what's going to make this image stand the test of time. And this is another one. Now, this is kind of between two, if you wanted to sort of like confuse things a little bit. This is location specific. This particular volcanic rock formation is in Vik, very close to where I live. But, people from Sweden will know exactly where that is from. From other countries, they won't. But I would say that is something that kind of splits the two. But in the end, whatever it is, people will enjoy it for the actual photo rather than the location. But if you move back to the first one, people will enjoy that for the location before the photograph, I think. And you want to be the person that took the photo. You want to be the photographer. You don't want to be known. You don't want to be the image to fall into a pile of hundreds of thousands of other pictures of the same location. Some of them better than this and some of them not as good, but the photographer is irrelevant to the photo. Whereas with this one and this one, the photographer is entirely relevant to the photo because it's a very personal photograph, and I don't think there'll be going to be many people with a photograph like this. So with that in mind, I think I've explained the difference between location specific and non-location specific for you, and let's jump back into the review of the video today. So everybody, back to me again. Like I said, my personal sort of journey with this video is really to sort of demonstrate the type of images that I'm getting more pleasure out of. And although that I would never rule out going to Iceland, which is definitely a bucket list location, which I think probably every landscape photographer on the planet want to go to, Faroe Islands and Lofoten and these sort of places, I definitely will rather get something unique, which is very personal and very unique to me, than a photograph that hundreds of thousands of other photographers have taken and Instagram is literally flooded with them. So it's going to be an interesting project, and I'm going to keep working on it and filming vlogs while I'm on location to try and demonstrate my own personal mission in landscape photography, and hopefully give you content that maybe you'll find a little bit different. Different in terms of location, because I don't think that many people are familiar with the southeast corner of Sweden where I live, and definitely unique in terms of I think most vloggers tend to focus on their own patches and the bigger vista, which I'm going to try and concentrate on the smaller landscape and looking for the much less obvious. So I hope you enjoyed today's content. I hope the video was something that you could feel yourself urging to press the like button. And if you leave me a comment and let me know what you think and whether I'm on the right lines with this kind of video for YouTube, I'd be really grateful. So until the next vlog, see you then.